My name is Peyton Howell. I'll be discussing the life cycle of Plasmodium, otherwise known as malaria. Cycle begins in a mosquito, an anaphil female mosquito, which is also the intermediate host, bites a human and sends the sporozoites into the liver. They travel through the bloodstream and infect the liver cells, called hepatocytes. Once they infect the hepatocytes, they multiply to form merozoites. This doesn't happen until about 7 to 10 days later. They reproduce asexually, and then it becomes a hepatic schizont, which is a cell full of merozoites. When there become too many, the cell bursts open. The merozoites travel and enter the bloodstream. The merozoites bind to the red blood cells, and then they enter the red blood cells. That's stage 4. Then they become early trophozoites, a ring form. The ring form splits and becomes late trophozoite. Then they multiply asexually, and then there's many of them inside the red blood cell until it bursts, releasing the trophozoites back into the bloodstream, or the merozoites, and the cycle repeats, which is step 5. The blood stage cycle, step 5, is what causes the symptoms of malaria. Symptoms include fever, chills, and sweating, and this occurs weeks later after being bitten. Sometimes can lead to death by depletion of red blood cells and high temperature. Next, you have step 6. After several cycles of the blood stage, eventually the merozoites become gametocytes. There's a male and a female inside the red blood cell. They become gametes once you're bitten by another mosquito is uninfected and takes in the gametocytes. They become gametes. This all occurs in the mosquito. The gametes fuse together and become a zygote, which is step 8. This is the sporogenic cycle where the sporozoites form. The zygote becomes an oocyte containing the sporozoites and they reproduce until it bursts. Once it bursts, the sporozoites travel to the saliva glands in the mosquito, and the mosquito is then carrying the pathogenic sporozoites and ready to infect the next victim. Then that mosquito goes and bites somebody else, and the cycle repeats itself. And that is the life cycle of Plasmodium. And it continues to infect about 200 million cases worldwide and about 2,000 cases in the US per year.